4, 5, 6. Good. We're starting with the roll call slowly. Good morning and welcome to Bahrain. The FIBA Midterm Congress 2025 roll call starts now with the alphabetical order of the delegates of the national member federations of FIBA. Afghanistan, President Argandiwal. Good morning. Albania, Secretary General Franco Busati. I do not see Franco, but he was here until a few seconds ago. Algeria, Mr. Ousif. Président, bonjour. Angola, Vice President Mr. Lemos. Buen día. Buen día, Silvio. Argentina, President Sergio Gatti. Buen día, Sergio. Armenia, Secretary General Mr. Nazarian. Good morning, Arthur. Aruba, I see the Treasurer, Brian van Spandok. Brian, good morning. Australia, President John Kerry and CEO Matt Scriven. Good morning, gentlemen. Austria, Secretary General Aldin Saracevic. Good morning. Hello, Aldin. Azerbaijan, President Emin Amrullayev and Executive Vice President Farukh Mahmudov. Good morning, Emin. Good morning, Farukh. Bahamas, Assistant Secretary General John Nutt. Good morning. I will make a special welcome later on to our host Bahrain, who are entering the room. Barbados, Francis Williams, President. Francis, good morning. Belarus, Secretary General Nastasia Marinina. Nastasia, welcome. Belgium, Secretary General Stefan Garaleas. Good morning, Stefan. Belize, Secretary General Raúl Rosado. Raúl, buen día. Benin, Secretary General Mr. Soudonu. Bonjour. Bonjour, Epiphan. Bermuda, Vice President Joshua Nesbitt. Good morning. Bhutan, Secretary General Sonam Topgai. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Botswana is landing later on today. Brazil, Secretary General Carlos Fontenelle. Good morning, Carlos. Brunei Darussalam, President Kiat Go. Good morning. Bulgaria, Secretary General Philip Videnov. Hello, Philip. Burkina Faso, President Yameogo. Bonjour, Président. Burundi, President Claver Hassimana. Bonjour. Cambodia, Secretary General Mr. Koledoye. Good morning, good morning. Canada, CON President Michael Bartlett. Mike, good morning. Cape Verde, International Relations Officer Andrea Levy. Good morning, bon dia. Cayman Islands, Colin Anglin, President. Hello, Colin. I was looking for Victor next to you. Chile, Presidente Iran Arcos. Iran, buen dia. Chinese Taipei, Secretary General Yunshang Li. Good morning. Colombia, Presidente John Mario Tejada. John Mario, bienvenido. Comoros, President Ahamada Dinti. Bonjour, Président. Ginti. Parfait. Excusez-moi. Congo, Président Makaya Matebe. Not here. Cook Islands. Not yet here. Costa Rica, Mauricio Bravo San Vicente, Presidente. Buen día. Côte d'Ivoire, President Moussa Diarra. Président, bonjour. Croatia, President Nikola Rukavina. Nikola, good morning. Cuba, la Presidenta Dalia Henry Hernández. Dalia, buenos días. Cyprus, the Deputy Director Spiridon Leodaris. Kalimera. Kalimera, Spiro. Czechia, Secretary General Michal Schob and Vice President Zdenek Bziza. Morning, Michale. Democratic Republic of Congo, le Président, M. Kabongo. Bonjour, Président. Djibouti, Président, M. Douale. Bonjour. Bonjour, Président. Ecuador, Presidente Mario Mora. Mario, buenos días. Egypt, President Amr Museli. Amr, good morning, and to your delegation. El Salvador, Vice President Mr. Mena. Buenos días. Equatorial Guinea, President Sir Cronert. Mr. Cronert, good morning. Estonia, Secretary General Gerd Kili. Good morning, Gerd. Eswatini, President Dlamini. Can I see you? Oh, perfect. Good morning. FSM, Federated States of Micronesia, President Mr. Peterson. Good morning. Fiji, President Mrs. Whippy. Good morning, Fiji. La France, Président Jean-Pierre Anclair et Secrétaire Général Thierry Balestrière. Bonjour, Jean-Pierre et Thierry. Gabon, Secretary General Ms. Njame. Good morning, good morning. Gambia, Secretary General Mr. Nian. Good morning. Georgia, President Victor Sanikidze. And the Secretary General Lasa Gamreklice. Good morning, Victor. Germany, the President Ingo Weiss, Secretary General Wolfgang Brennscheid. Guten Morgen, Wolle und Ingo. Ghana, Mr. Atto Van Es, President. Good morning. Gibraltar, one of our doyen, John Gonsalves, President. John, good morning. Great Britain, Kieran Achara, member of our Players Commission also. Morning, Kieran. Greece, President Vangelis Liolios, CEO Dinos Verkounos. Good morning, Kalimera σας, Vangeli και Dino. Guam, Frankie Cruz. Frankie? Good morning, and Susan Lupola also representing Guam. Great to see you. Guatemala, Dr. Arriola and señor Catalán, presidente y miembro del Ejecutivo. Buenos días, los colegas. Guinea, President Mr. Amara Keita. Bonjour, Président. Guinea-Bissau, President Fortunato. Good morning, Clodomiro. Guyana, President Michael Singh. Michael, I see you. Yes, good morning. Hong Kong, China, the Honorary President Mabel Ching. Mabel, good morning, great to see you. Hungary, President Marton Bader, Secretary General Peter Laszlo Bodnar. Good morning. Good morning, Marton and Peter. India, President Adhav Arjuna and Secretary General Kulvinder Singh. Good morning, Adhav. Indonesia, Secretary General Nirmala Dewi. Nirmala, good morning. I hope Arti is there with you. Yes. Good morning to Arti as well. Iran, President Javad Davari and former Olympian. Javad, good morning. Iraq, President Khalid Al-Quraisi. Khalid, good morning. Israel, the member of the European Board and former President Amiram Khalevi. Amiram, good morning. Shalom. Italy, Secretary General Maurizio Bertea. Maurizio, good morning. Jamaica, President Paulton Gordon. Bolton, you're there. Good morning. Japan, Secretary General Shinji Watanabe, and of course Kenta Kawashima next to him. Good morning, Shinji-san. Jordan, the board member, Mr. Kayali. Good morning and welcome. Kazakhstan, Abay Alpamisov, President, and Almas Uzakov, Secretary General. Abay, Almas, good morning. Kenya, Secretary General Angela Luchivia. Good morning. Good morning. We miss him. We miss him. Kiribati, Mr. Bountete, Secretary General, Kiribati. Good morning. Kosovo, President Fetahu and Secretary General Dushku. Good morning, Arben and Elvira. Kuwait, President Mohammed Dari. Good morning, President, and his Secretary General Tamer Al-Shanfa. Kyrgyzstan, President Kadyrov. Good morning, President. Latvia, President Raimunds Vejonis. Raimunds, good morning. Lebanon, President Akram Halabi. Akram, good morning. Charbel is there with you. Charbel Risk, Secretary General. Good morning, Charbel. Liberia, President Abraham Samukai. Good morning. And the Secretary General, no, I have Lithuania, Mindaugas Balčiūnas, President, and in his first Congress, Secretary General Dominikas Domarkas. Good morning to Lietuva. Luxembourg, Pierre Rodenburg, Secretary General. Bonjour. Macau, President Chongfai Wu. Macau, China, to be correct. Madagascar, Executive Committee member, Ms. Solohari Nivo. Good morning. And Jean-Michel is also here. Malawi, President Mr. Kanjala. Good morning. Good morning, President. Malaysia, Secretary General Ki Tan. Ki? Yes. Good morning, Ki. Maldives, President Ahmed Adam. Ahmed, good morning. Mali, Vice President Mr. Cissé. Bonjour, bonjour, Monsieur Cissé. Malta, President Paul Sultana, Secretary General Joseph Muscat. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Paul and Joseph. Marshall Islands, President Amata Kabua. Amata, good morning. Mauritania, President Yusuf Fall. Great to see you again. Bonjour. Bonjour, President. Mauritius, the President, Miss Marie Subanse. Good morning. Good morning. Mexico, President Modesto Robledo. Modesto, buen día. Mongolia, Secretary General Tukshargal Sambu. Good morning. With crutches, but still here in the room. Appreciate that. Montserrat. Where's Gilmore? Here, there he is. Gilmore Williams, the President. Namibia, President Nigel Mubita. Morning. Nepal, President Mr. Singh Gurung. Good morning. The Netherlands, Vice President Frank Bertelink and Secretary General Martin Hofer. Frank, Martin, good morning. New Caledonia, Vice President Ms. Wainebengo. Yes, I see you there. Bonjour. Bonjour. New Zealand Acting CEO Belinda Edwards. Belinda, welcome. Niger, Président Saleh Amadou. Bonjour, Président. Nigeria, President Amadou Kida Musa. Where's the hat? Here he is. Good morning. Good morning, Musa. Northern Mariana Islands. James Lee. Here he is. fittest man in the room. Norway, Jan Henrik Parman, the president. Oman, Vice President Abu Al-Jawari. Good morning. Pakistan, Secretary General Mr. Bhatti. Good morning. Palau, Jamila Kwarte. Good morning. And Jubilee is also with us. Palestine, President Ibrahim Habash. Ibrahim, good morning. Papua New Guinea, CEO Nema Ugupame. PNG, you're his. Paraguay, Presidente Carlos Maria Ljubetic. Buen día, buen día. People's Republic of China, Mr. Zhenming Guo, the President, and Shulan, the Secretary General. Good morning. Very warm good morning. Ni hao. The Philippines, President Alpan Lilio and Secretary General Erica D. Good morning, Al. Good morning, Erica. Poland, President Grzegorz Bachanski and Secretary General Witold Roman. Good morning. Good morning. Portugal, Presidente Manuel Francisco Fernandez. Buen día, Manuel. Puerto Rico, Secretary General Edmundo Baez. Mundi. Buen día. Qatar, President Mohammed Al-Mekaiseb, Secretary General Saadun Al-Kuwari. Good morning. Good morning. Our World Cup hosts. Republic of Korea, Secretary General Mr. Jae Yong Chung. JY, good morning. And Kim is with you, the manager. Excellent. Romania, Catalin Burlacu, the GM of the Federation, and Vasilie Claudiu Fometescu, the CEO. Romania. Catalin, good morning. Russian Federation President Andrei Kirilenko and the Secretary General Vladimir Diachok. Vladimir? A big hand? Excellent. Good morning, and good morning, Andrei. Rwanda, Vice President Mr. Munyangaju. Good morning, and welcome. St. Kitts and Nevis, Bill and Jeffers. And Bill? I do not see here St. Kitts and Nevis yet. St. Lucia, I did see Glenn yesterday. The President, Glenn Giste. Do we have with us St. Kitts and Nevis or St. Lucia? Can I see a hand? I do not see St. Lucia either. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, President Suzette Jackson. Suzette, hello. Excellent. Good morning. Samoa, the board member, Ms. Mercier. Good morning. San Marino, Roberto Berardi, Secretary General. Buongiorno. Saudi Arabia, the President, Dr. Ghassan Taskandi. Good morning. Senegal, Président Babacar Ndiaye. Babacar? Mon confrère. Bonjour. Serbia, Nenad Kristic, Vice President and World Cup medalist. Let's not forget that. Seychelles, Secretary General Mr. Eric Savi. Good morning. Sierra Leone, President Mr. Hezaye, excuse me. Sierra Leone? Good morning. Singapore, President Tekjin Tor. Hello, Bob. Slovakia, President Michal Ondrus, Secretary General Andrei Kufa. Good morning, Slovakia. Slovenia, President Matej Erjavec and Secretary General Ales Krishnar. Ales and Matej. Good morning to both. Solomon Islands, Executive Member Ms. Hong. Good morning. Somalia, President Abdullah Mohammed. Good morning. Good morning. South Sudan, Secretary General Aru Liol. Raise your hand. Like that. Excellent. Good morning, South Sudan. Spain, España, la presidenta Elisa Aguilar, and the competition director Hannah Barhaus. Perhaps for the first time, Spain represented by two women in basketball, and I appreciate that. Bienvenida. Sri Lanka, President Mr. Newman. Paul, good morning. Sudan, President Osama El Sayed. Good morning. Suriname, Vice President Mr. Rahan. Good morning. Sweden, President Susanne Yidesten. Good morning, Susanne. And Elizabeth Egnell with her European board member. Switzerland, President Andrea Siviero and his Secretary General Eric Lehmann. Good morning, gentlemen. Next event coming up in Lausanne. Tahiti, President Mark Taputu and the Secretary General Hans Tuahiva Tetonoiti. I said it, Hans. Good morning to both. Thailand, Prida Mwangmi. We miss Dr. Pratum. Timor-Leste, Vice President João da Costa. Bom dia. Togo, President Ms. Adekambi. Good morning. Good morning. Turkey, Secretary General Serhan Antalyali. Good morning, Serhan. Turkmenistan, Secretary General Ms. Makhtumova. Good morning. Turks and Caicos Islands. Trevor Cook. Where's Trevor? Turks and Caicos? No? Okay. Uganda, President Serunjogi Nasser. Good morning. Ukraine, Secretary General Volodymyr Dabrikovsky. Good morning, Volodymyr. United Arab Emirates, UAE, President Al Gargawi and Vice President Al Fardan Ismail. Good morning. United Republic of Tanzania, President Mr. Kadebe. Perfect, Tanzania. United States of America, CEO Jim Tully. Jim, good morning. Uruguay, Presidente Héctor Asir. Héctor, buen día. Vanuatu, Vice President Mr. Zeng. Good morning. Venezuela, Presidente Anthony Coelho, and the Secretary General Joanna James. Jaimes. Buen día, Anthony. Vietnam, Henry Nguyen, the President. Henry, good morning. Great to see you. Virgin Islands, David Ado. David, good morning. Yemen, President Abdul Sattar Al-Hamdani. Good morning, good morning. Zambia, President Maziko Piri. And Zimbabwe, the President Mujuru Joe. Good morning. Good morning, President, and his Secretary General, Ms. Shamboko Charmaine. Let me make a second attempt for the very few that I missed. Albania, Franco Busati. Franco, good morning. I started too fast. Our hosts, Bahrain. He's here, I know, but I see in front of me now Secretary General Ahmed Ali. Sabahul Khair, and thank you. And the President Ala Mudara is waiting for His Highness to arrive at the door. Botswana is arriving tonight. Congo, do we have President Makaya? Congo? No. Cook Islands, Brianna? No. St. Kitts and Nevis, Glenville, or St. Lucia. I saw Glenn last night, so we will confirm that later. And Turks and Caicos, Trevor. Very good. We're doing the final count, and I will be able to provide this to you in a second. So I would like now to welcome, after the delegates of the national member federations, I would like to provide a warm welcome to our honorary president, Hamane Niang. Bonjour, Hamane. Honorary President Horacio Muratore. Buen día, Horacio. Bienvenido. And Honorary President Bob Elphiston. Bob, good morning. It's a big pleasure to have you here with us, all three of you. I would present now also the Central Board members as we welcome the delegation of our hosts. We have Ingo Weiss, our treasurer, David Reed, First Vice President, Jorge Garbajosa, Vice President, Aníbal Manave, Vice President, and then alphabetically, Tor Bakken, Fabian Borro, President of the Americas, Carol Callan, good morning, Richard Carrion, Matej Erjavec, Dr. Govindraj, Andrei Kirilenko, Jubilee Cuarte, Yuko Michuya, Yuko-san, good morning, Pascal Mugwaneza, hello Pascal, Dirk Nowitzki, Al Panlilio, Jean-Michel Ramarosson, UC Richards, Burton Shipley, Mark Tatum, morning Mark, Carmen Tokala, Sonia Vasic, Yao Ming, and Asterios Zois. We have with us also the members of the management team, our COO Patrick Marillet and our Senior Director Zoran Radovic. Of course, my five brothers and four brothers and one sister in the continents. Alphonse Billet, Executive Director Africa. Carlos Alves, Executive Director Americas. Hagop Hajirian, Executive Director Asia. Amanta Jenkins, Executive Director Oceania. And Kamil Novak, Executive Director Europe. Good morning and thank you. Also with us, we have the chairs of the following commissions: Legal, Erika D., and we will hear from her today. Eleonora Rangelova, Chair of Technical. Erika is Chair of Legal. Edgar Sneps, Chair of the Competitions Commission. You also have a chair there, Edgar's. And Peter Harcourt, our chair of the Medical Commission. We have our guests from the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation, Ulf Mehrens and Gabriel Zangenfeind. And also with us, we have our guests from ULEB, the President Thomas van den Spiegel. As we head into the formal opening of the proceedings, of course, we have been joined by His Highness Sheikh Isa, and we will provide a formal welcome in a moment. The proceedings of the day will be presided by our President, His Excellency Sheikh Saud bin Ali Al Thani. Sheikh, we are in session, and I will give you in a few seconds the total count of our national member federations. I welcome you. The translation in all the official languages of the Congress is on your devices, and we are in session for the FIBA Midterm Congress in Bahrain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andreas. Welcome everyone, FIBA Midterm Congress 2025 in Bahrain. Special welcome to our host, His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Ali Al Khalifa, Vice President of the Bahrain Olympic Committee, Vice President of the Olympic Council of Asia, Board Member of the FIBA Foundation. Thank you and the Kingdom of Bahrain for your support to organize this Congress. Welcome to the national members Federation of FIBA. This is the biggest midterm Congress in history of FIBA. After the roll call, I can confirm that we have welcome also to our guests. We now start with point 1 of the agenda, welcome speech. I am happy to invite the bottom of the welcome speech, Sheikh Isa bin Ali, to give his speech. Sheikh.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the FIBA family, esteemed delegates and guests, good morning and welcome to the Kingdom of Bahrain. It is both an honor and a privilege to host you here for the FIBA Midterm Congress. We are truly delighted to welcome representatives from across the global basketball community to our shores. Bahrain is a country known for its hospitality, its warmth, and its commitment to excellence. And I trust you will experience all of that during your stay. We are proud to support international sports, and particularly basketball, which continues to inspire and unite people from all backgrounds and cultures. Under the vision and leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and support of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Bahrain has emerged as a global hub for international events. This Congress is a key milestone in our shared journey as we elevate progress and shape the future of basketball worldwide. Your presence here underscores the strength and unity of the global basketball family, and I'm confident that the discussions and decisions made over the coming days will contribute meaningfully to the sport's continued growth and success. As you begin your important work, I would like to extend my warmest wishes for a productive, collaborative, and successful Congress. May your time here also offer moments to connect, reflect, and enjoy the beauty and hospitality of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Thank you, and once again, welcome.
Thank you, Sheikh Isa. Now we have video of Bahrain.
In the Kingdom of Bahrain, where ancient sands whisper tales of history and modern marvels stand tall, a unifying pulse of sportsmanship beats. A land celebrated for the roar of Formula One, the elegance of horse racing, the precision of golf, and now, the rising rhythm of basketball infused with the spirit of unity and the thrill of competition. Bahrain, with its legacy of hosting the globe's most thrilling sporting events, opens its heart to basketball. Here, world-class facilities are more than just stages for competition. They are cradles of dreams where ambition meets action and where every game, every shot tells a story of unity and perseverance. Imagine a future where Bahrain's rich sporting heritage blends with the passion for basketball, creating a vibrant hub for Asia and beyond. A future where talents are nurtured, legends come to inspire, and the basketball community gathers to celebrate the sport's power to connect us all, aiming to ignite a shared passion for the game. Drawing from a proud history of welcoming the world through sports, Bahrain envisions a bold new era for basketball. It is an era marked by international tournaments, groundbreaking training programs, and cultural exchanges that enrich the fabric of our global basketball family. Our vision is built on 6 key pillars: cultivating a diverse community, igniting passion, nurturing talent, ensuring financial sustainability, empowering stakeholders, and advancing operational excellence. In Bahrain, every heartbeat, every cheer, and every moment on the basketball court builds bridges, fosters friendships, and ignites a shared passion for the game. Join us as we embark on this journey, weaving basketball into the tapestry of Bahrain's sporting legacy, inviting the world to play, dream, and unite. Bahrain, the heart of Asia basketball, uniting passion, elevating dreams.
Thank you. Thank you to Bahrain. And I hope you enjoy your staying in Bahrain. And I hope you explore everything in Bahrain. Bahrain is a very beautiful country, very kind people, very nice people, very generous. I hope everybody enjoy this staying in Bahrain. Thank you. Now we have the video message from IOC President Thomas Bach.
Dear President of FIBA, Sheikh Saud Ali Al Thani, dear Secretary General of FIBA, my dear friend Andreas Zaklis, dear friends. As you gather for your midterm Congress, I would like to convey my heartfelt congratulations to you and all your athletes who took part in the sensational Olympic Games Paris 2024. Their performances celebrated your sport and the entire basketball community at its best. From the electrifying atmosphere in Lille, Bercy and the Place de la Concorde, from history-making performances on the courts to record-breaking digital engagement, from legends confirming their status to new stars emerging, the basketball competitions created unforgettable Olympic moments for all of us. The Olympic Games Paris 2024 were Olympic Games of a new era, the youngest, most urban, most inclusive and most sustainable Olympic Games ever. The very first Olympic Games with full gender parity. The first Olympic Games fully in line with our Olympic agenda. With the great success of your Olympic competitions, you all played an essential part in writing this new chapter of Olympic history. For this, you can rightly be very proud forever. The entire world came together through the power of sport. Athletes from the territories of all 206 national Olympic committees and the IOC Refugee Olympic team competed fiercely against each other. At the same time, they lived peacefully together under one roof in the Olympic Village. They created a culture of peace. This message of togetherness, of joie de vivre, this message of peace, This is what people all around the world were longing for. These Olympic Games captured the hearts and minds around the globe. Around 5 billion people followed them, making these the most followed Olympic Games ever. This is why I would like to thank you, to thank FIBA, for being such a reliable partner in spreading the Olympic spirit around the world. Under the leadership of your president, Sheikh Saud Ali Al Thani, and your dynamic Secretary General Andreas Tsaklis, you are bringing our Olympic agenda reforms to life in an excellent way. From empowering women, to trailblazing in the digital world, to championing innovation and sustainability, or your pioneering youth engagement work through the FIBA Foundation. In these and so many other areas, you are promoting sport and its values in an exemplary way. And you're also setting a great example for the cooperation between an international federation and the professional leagues by working so closely and trustfully together with NBA under the leadership of my friend Adam Silver. At your Congress now, you have every opportunity to set the course for a bright future. On the road to the Youth Olympic Games Dakar 2026, the Olympic Games LA 28, and beyond. Building on your strong foundation, you can look ahead with great confidence. It is with great emotion that I address you in this last message as IOC President. We all share our commitment and passion for our beloved Olympic movement. We all want to see it shining even brighter in the future. This is why I ask you to offer the same spirit of unity, solidarity and friendship that I was so fortunate to enjoy over the many years to my successor, the IOC President-elect, Mrs. Kirsty Coventry. Today, I do not say adieu. Today, I say à bientôt. My passion for basketball and our friendship go far beyond functions and responsibilities. That is why I'm already looking forward to enjoy basketball as a humble fan together with you. This is why I'm saying à bientôt, mes amis. See you soon again, and all the best.
On behalf of everybody, we'd like to thank President Bach for his speech and for his support to our sport, and wish him good health and good life after leaving the position, and hoping to have good president. The new president is hoping to have them in the same attention to give to the basketball, and we are confident that basketball is getting better and better in the Olympic Games. So thank you on behalf of everybody. We thank him and we appreciate his speech. Thank you. Next point, the agenda, point number 3, in memoriam, a video to remember our friends who passed away the last 2 years. They rest in peace. Next point in the agenda, point number 4, approval of the agenda. You have received the agenda. Is it approved? Thank you. Next point in the agenda, point number 5, approval of the report from our Congress in Manila. You have received the report. Can we approve it? Thank you. Next point, number 6, address by President. Allow me to give my speech, please. Thank you. Dear members of the Central Board, dear National Federation, dear friends of basketball, it's an honor to be here today. On behalf of FIBA, I want to express our gratitude to all of you, especially the National Federation, for your efforts to grow our sports. Since we are in Bahrain, allow me to change the Arabic, the mother tongue of our host. الوقت الذي يمر منذ آخر مؤتمر للاتحاد الدولي لكرة السلة فيبا في مانيلا يمثل فصلا مهما آخر في تطور كرة السلة المستمر في جميع أنحاء العالم. إنني حينما أصبحت رئيسا قبل بطولة كأس العالم لكرة السلة 2023 الناجحة بشكل هائل، تأكدت أكثر من القيم التي تمثلها هذه الرياضة، ومن الرائع حقا كيف تؤثر رياضتنا على ملايين الأشخاص حول العالم. كانت البطولة تذكيرا قويا بشعبية الرياضة العالمية ومرآة واضحة لنجاح الاتحاد الدولي في توسيع نطاقه. لأول مرة في التاريخ تم استضافة كأس العالم في عدة دول، هي الفلبين واليابان وإندونيسيا، وكانت النتيجة هي إرث دائم ساعد في رفع البلدان الثلاثة المضيفة إلى قائمة أفضل 10 دول في العالم من حيث المشاركة في كرة السلة. منذ اليوم الأول للبطولة في مانيلا وأوكيناوا وجاكرتا كان من الواضح أننا نشهد شيئا استثنائيا. لقد كان الحضور القياسي في المباريات.
The record attendance at the opening match between the Philippines and the Dominican Republic was a testament to the unprecedented success of this competition, which was supported by the huge number of viewers around the world who were watching it through the television screens. 32 teams arrived, carrying inspiring stories that captivated the hearts of fans around the world. The journey of South Sudan touched every corner of the basketball community, while Germany's historic victory in winning its first world title dominated international headlines. Let's take a look through this video.
Fox is just doing a bit of shake and bake.
بعيدا عن
Beyond the competition itself, the FIBA World Cup demonstrated FIBA's commitment to sustainability, innovation, and digital engagement through leveraging new technologies to bring audiences closer to events more than ever before. This momentum has continued in the Olympic qualifying tournaments, where we witnessed significant increases in attendance and interaction at both the men's and women's qualifying tournaments held in Brazil, Belgium, China, Hungary, Greece, Latvia, Spain, and Puerto Rico. And here I would like to express my deep gratitude to the 8 national federations for the excellent organization, for their dedication. As soon as the competitions kicked off in Lille and Paris, the stage was set for the most watched Olympic basketball tournament in history. Digital engagement reached record levels during the qualifiers and the Olympics, particularly in the women's competition, where our digital audience tripled compared to 2021. This growth underscores that FIBA's focus on women's basketball is starting to yield positive results and expand its fan base to new fans around the world. We also broke attendance records, with more than 1 million spectators flocking to the Olympic basketball tournaments. France, with its dedication and passion for basketball, provided the perfect backdrop for the tournament, and we would like to express our deep gratitude to them for their warm welcome. But alongside our traditional game, basketball, the Paris 2024 Olympics were also a watershed moment for the 3x3 sport. X3 basketball made its Olympic debut in front of live audiences in Paris 2024, and it presented a magnificent spectacle in the heart of the city. The dramatic rise in digital interaction compared to its debut in Tokyo has redefined the standards of urban sports, setting new expectations for the future. These expectations are already coming true with the recent announcement of the expansion of the 3x3 tournament to include 12 men's and 12 women's teams. On behalf of FIBA and the member federations, we would like to thank the IOC and the Los Angeles Organizing Committee for this honor that we are allowed to have 12 men's and 12 women's teams. We're the only game who was granted an additional number of teams, so we thank them for that. Young players are embracing 3x3 at an unprecedented pace. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, 15 players participated from the 3x3 Nations League, 9 of whom won medals. 3 of them won gold medals, and this is a testament to the sport's exponential growth. Earlier in the summer, we saw the representation of a bright future of basketball in the Under-17 World Cup in Turkey and the Under-17 Women's World Cup in Mexico. For the first time, this tournament was held outside Europe. Both events were very successful and provided a wonderful experience for all the players and young players involved. Looking ahead to the coming months, we're looking forward to 2 exciting youth tournaments. The 2025 FIBA Under-19 World Cup in Lausanne and the 2025 FIFA Under-19 Women's World Cup to be held in Brno. We feel a lot of enthusiasm around those tournaments because it will highlight the talent and bright future of the next generation of basketball players. There is no doubt that young talent is honed primarily at the level of the clubs, and we're particularly proud of the achievements we have achieved. Of our achievements in club competitions at the start of this cycle. The expansion of the Intercontinental Cup in 2023 and 2024 marked historic milestones. Clubs from Asia and Oceania were included in the competition. This global expansion coincided with Singapore, Asia's first host nation, being awarded the right to host the event for 3 consecutive years. FIBA continues to work tirelessly to achieve our strategic priorities for this edition, namely shaping international clubs competitions, and the launch of BCL Asia has provided much-needed clarity for the clubs in collaboration, of course, with the Champions League, BCL Europe, and the Americas, the BCL Americas, as well as the African Basketball League, BAL, with our partners from the NBA, to enhance the FIBA club competition landscape and Champions League. Representing all 212 national associations is a big responsibility, and I am committed to our collective mission to make basketball the most popular and united community. Despite the challenges posed by global geopolitical conditions, we remain steadfast in our mission. The International Basketball Federation does not back down. We adapt, innovate, and create solutions, always with a focus on expanding the basketball community and uniting people through sports. Because this is at the heart of our strategy, empowering national associations, which is not just a means to an end. It's in fact an integral part of FIBA's mission statement. Basketball continues to be a harbinger of unity, and I still hope that we will continue to find new solutions. As we celebrate our achievements of the past 2 years, we now look forward to the summer of 2025, when we will see the much anticipated competitions for both men and women, AfroBasket, AmeriCup, Asia Cup, and of course Eurobasket for men and women. And all of these competitions are receiving the full attention of FIBA this year. Next year, the 2026 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup will be a historic event, and it will build on the record media coverage and rising fan enthusiasm and expanded sponsorships that will push women's basketball to new heights. We expect this event to accelerate the incredible progress we are making in our strategic priority, namely women in basketball. That will be followed by the 2027 FIBA Basketball World Cup in Qatar, and that will be another landmark event, setting new standards for major sporting tournaments globally. With the support of our partners, national associations, and the public, our audiences, whom I value with all my heart, we will continue our efforts to achieve strategic objectives. We will continue to promote diversity within our sport, ensure equal opportunities for men and women, and expand our reach to underrepresented communities and nations. We will do so at the same time as we safeguard the interests of sport and our 212 national associations and the entire global basketball community. I'm full of hope for the next 2 years and for the future of basketball. Thank you.
My address in English. FIBA will continue to work hard every day to grow our sport, but we cannot do this alone. We need each national federation to work with us. Only together we can achieve our mission. I am very confident the next 2 years and for the future of basketball, the best sport in the world. Thank you. Next point, number 7, report by the Secretary General. Now Andreas will deliver his report. Please, Andreas.
Thank you, President. Before I start my report, I think we have 4 more colleagues in the room, and I think it's very, very appropriate that I also excuse myself to my friend Junior from the Dominican Republic that has been present since early this morning. República Dominicana presente through its Vice President Junior Paez. We also have in the room the arrivals of St. Kitts and Nevis, Glenville, Glen Jeffers, present. Here you are. Welcome. St. Lucia and Glen Gist, the President, present as well. And we have, I hope, also Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos, President Trevor Cook. Trevor? So we have, President, I'm very pleased to announce we have a record. Your Highness, and to our dear Minister, we have 165 national member federations present in the room. This is the biggest ordinary Congress in our history. And therefore, I'm extremely pleased now to start my report on behalf of the Central Board, of the entire Central Board, that is a global representation of your mandate for these 4 years, 2023, 2027. We are at halftime, and on behalf of this team, as well as of the 205 members of the FIBA staff around the world, from the headquarters in Switzerland to Miami, to Abidjan, to Munich, to Beirut, to Gold Coast, to China, Beijing, Singapore, and Jakarta, from the regional offices and country offices, from the zone boards, and of course the 7 commissions of FIBA. You have received last week, first time, with such detail and with such depth of information, 147 pages of report, a book that I hope you have downloaded, and if not, now is the moment to get it on your devices, a report that summarizes the work that we have done with you and for you. The structure of my presentation this morning will include, of course, the relationship with our 2 institutional partners, the IOC and the NBA, and then we will look one by one the 7 pillars of the FIBA strategy as were approved by the Congress in Manila. Please remember, after me will be followed the presentation of the Treasurer for the financials, which you also have on this report, on a level of transparency that is, as we have been told, a model for international federations. The full statements and the Treasurer will give you details. I will provide, however, some business relevant elements in my presentation. This afternoon, I remind you, we have the new services where we will start providing you more information, and tomorrow the breakout sessions, the more interactive part of this Congress, which is fundamental for us to transmit but also to receive. You have on your phones, I hope, the application FIBA Meet. FIBA Meet, you have exactly the breakout sessions for tomorrow, English, French, Spanish rooms, 3 rooms where you can attend the different matters. So I would start with an image that captivated us certainly last year, and that is the image that very well captures what we did last year with our friends in France and with our colleagues at the IOC. An Olympic ticket record, not with 92 games like in Atlanta, but with only 52 games in Lille and Paris. We had more than almost 1.1 million tickets only for basketball and 3x3 basketball. This is an Olympic record for basketball purposes, and almost 10% of all the Olympic tickets for all sports in the Olympic Games were for basketball. And I can confirm to you that also our friends from wheelchair basketball had tremendous numbers as well. Un grand merci to France. The fans embraced us. They supported their team but embraced us. And an average of 20,000 for the women's games is definitely unprecedented, and we will discuss it tomorrow. Of course, this success provoked discussions in the Central Board, because we all know that this house lives on the World Cup and on the Continental Cups. The IOC subsidy is important to us. We would not so easily live without it. We could. But in reality, it represents 1/4, close to 1/5 of 1 year of FIBA's revenues. So the board puts the management into a challenge to review, is this the right tactic for us? Or would it be a better tactic that we entirely focus on the World Cup and follow a football-like model? And our answer is no. Our answer is no, because we believe that our 4-year calendar needs to have 2 strong pillars. The Olympic Games, which is the showcase of our sport, the multi-sport event, number 1 in the world, that allows us to catch billions of people, go in every house on this planet and bring new kids into the sport. This is our vitrine, this is our showcase. We're not there primarily for the revenues that we attract from the Olympic Games. We, of course, are a leader, and we want to be a leader in sport and continue to really punch at our weight within IOC and the Olympic movement. But at the same time, we need the second pillar of our calendar to grow stronger and stronger, because this is what brings us the revenue that we then reinvest into development. it is the World Cup, the Men's World Cup. And it gradually has to be the Women's World Cup. Next to it are the Continentals that we have this year, which are fundamental piece of what we, as one family, offer to our partners and sponsors. So this is our answer. This is our model, the FIBA model, in order to grow the sport with the Olympics as a main vehicle and the World Cup as our biggest and flagship event. And this positioning of loyalty to the Olympic movement and to the IOC, and at the same time of excellence in performance, because what your federations delivered and what our team delivered on the competition was what has made the difference for us. And this loyalty paid off with a fundamental decision for us to increase the teams for 3x3, as President mentioned, from 8 to 12. I remind you, the last time we had an increase was in 1996, almost 30 years ago, for the women's tournament in basketball. And of course, the entry of 3x3 basketball into the Olympic movement, the big legacy of my predecessor, Patrick Baumann, and the team around him, is now something that we stepped on and we really grew our number. And this is not just a number. I would like to focus not only on the political side, as President said, 27 sports asked for an increase, and we were among the two that received it. We received 32 athlete quota, which is a fantastic number, considering that the other sport that received an increase received only 8 athletes. But we should not focus on that side. We should focus on the fact that 4 more teams means almost 40 that believe they can make it. It means a multiple effect of investment in your countries by you, your governments, your sponsors, and your national Olympic committees. So besides my congratulations to the team of Alex, our 3x3 team, our chair of the commission, Carmen, and her predecessor, Andrei, they worked hard to push the 3x3 agenda, worked hard to convince many of you, many of us, who were, and some continue to still be, too traditional in the approach to basketball. 3x3 is here, 3x3 is here and will grow, and 3x3, for some of us, the smaller in population, may be the only way to the top. And we should not forget that. And this is why we're now working more with the IOC for Olympic solidarity programs. You see on the screen one of those, the program organized by our office in Oceania, together with Olympic Solidarity, and no less than 15 national member federations so almost 75% of the membership of the zone went there for an elites performance camp, and Pacific Games that are now qualifiers to the Under-23 World Cup, and a program that we want now to replicate in the Caribbean, in South America, in Africa, and of course in Asia, and for the small countries in Europe. This is now the next step for us in the relationship with the IOC for the promotion of 3x3. And tomorrow we have a special breakout session on Olympic solidarity where you can really discover how FIBA and IOC can help you grow your 3x3 structures. So after a very successful year on the court and off the court with the IOC relationship, and we are glad to have IOC members here among us today and thank them warmly, besides the members that sit also on our board. The relationship with the NBA is a fundamental one which has turned 35 years old from the decision in the Munich Congress of FIBA to allow the professionals to play, and the first contract that Borislav Stankovic signed with David Stern, which contract has remained unchanged for the last 35 years. And at the heart of it is the participation of players in the FIBA competitions. And we had more than 50 of them in Manila, in Okinawa, and in Jakarta. And we had also more than 50 of those players, no longer just USA team, in Lille and in Paris. And this is, of course, not something we should take for a given, considering how much the salaries in the ABA increase and how expensive the insurance has been. And you will hear today from the treasurer, one of the biggest lines in the FIBA budget is the insurance, both for the NBA players and for the players that are playing for a FIBA club. And this, why do the players do that? For those of you who watched on Netflix Court of Gold, you could see there the power of the emotions. What it means, even for the biggest and most accomplished players in the history of our sport, to wear the national team jersey to represent the country at the World Cup and at the Olympics for zero salary. This is what the national pride means, and this is what our partnership with the NBA facilitates, because these are the moments of inspiration for billions of people, for millions of young kids around the world who watch their icons on the screen. But this is not only for the men. This applies also to the women. And we have worked hard, thanks to a decision of this Congress 11 years ago. You all remember we voted one FIBA, but we didn't vote only one FIBA that day in Istanbul. We also voted that the NBA sits on our board. And these 11 years of presence of our colleague Mark Tatum on the central board have facilitated tremendously the moments where, obviously, sometimes the commercial interests of the league may not be totally aligned with the non-for-profit developmental objective that this global group of people represents. And as we went with the growth of women's basketball from a complementary calendar of WNBA and the rest of our leagues and our national competitions into a more overlapping calendar, and we see ahead of us, already we anticipate the issue for Berlin 2026 and the availability of our players for the Women's World Cup. We sat down, 1, 2, 3, as many meetings as it took. It didn't take too many, and we have an agreement, which we announced also yesterday after the decision of the Central Board. In 2026, the WNBA for the first time will take a break for the Women's World Cup in Berlin. And as of 2030, our Women's World Cup will move into the November-December period of the year to have its own dedicated slot in the calendar, away from other competitions, a full focus. Why? Because we need the Women's World Cup to grow closer to the Men's World Cup. There is a tremendous potential there, and a potential for us also to grow the game. But this partnership is not only there, and beyond the national teams, we are working closer together on the clubs. The BAL, the Basketball Africa League, is not just a project of inspiration and vision. It's just big words about the potential of Africa that we hear many times. It's a reality. It is in its 5th season. It is the biggest investment that we have seen in club basketball in Africa, and it has offered us already tangible results. President mentioned South Sudan. Yes, the MVP of BAL was one of the key players of South Sudan in the World Cup in the Olympics. But I see more broadly the impact of the BAL. It gave us, I believe, it contributed to the best ever performances by African teams in the World Cup and in the Olympics. It also gave us, very importantly, the Road to BAL organized by FIBA. And this Road to BAL includes teams from 30 countries. Therefore, the BAL, our joint project with the NBA, a pyramidal sport model, gives depth, quality, and vision. And this is why we get now, one after the other, requests to meet with governments in Africa for new arenas and investments. And I would like you And I would like to take the opportunity now to make a very short break in my speech in order to escort His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Ali Al Khalifa and express to him through a memento from the FIBA history, but also of the Bahrain basketball history, our deepest gratitude for hosting this record-making Congress. The President of FIBA is presenting to you the first ever letter received by FIBA from Bahrain a few months after the establishment of your country to become a member of FIBA. Thank you. Shukran. I would now continue with the next page in the club opportunities cooperation that we have with the NBA, with our colleagues. As you know, in Europe, we have been dealing with a long-standing dispute with an unclear pyramid of club competitions in Europe. But FIBA has done one thing, has remained consistent on what it requires in every region, in every continent. We want the protection of the national team calendar. We want the protection and the strengthening of our national leagues. And certainly we want a clear structure where if our top clubs, like in this case, want to really commercialize their efforts, they can do that. But what it comes to the second tier, which is the national leagues and the BCL, we are not there to negotiate. We are there really to run that part because it is at the heart of the developmental efforts of our federations. And the same conditions that we have been presenting to the EuroLeague, it is consistently the same elements that we have been putting forward in our conversations with the NBA, and quite remarkably, I must say, a league that has been operating in a closed manner for 75 years seems to have significant more respect to an open or semi-open, to be more correct, model of running the top-tier competition in Europe than our top FIBA clubs themselves. And that is the reason why we have taken a decision at the Central Board and at the European Board of FIBA to proceed with our conversations with the NBA for the potential creation of a new league in Europe. That was announced in March, and of course we're continuing. We know that we're both very serious and committed to really do our best to make this happen, and at the same time open to cooperate with our top clubs and trying to find a solution that creates a structure that makes sense, a structure that makes commercial sense, and finally really takes into account and advantage of the tremendous commercial potential of basketball in Europe, where we are unfortunately still punching much below our weight and much further from the popularity of the sport. I want to appreciate here the tremendous coordination and unity between the two boards, the Central Board and the European Board. The leadership of Europe with Jorge Garbajosa and Kamil Novak has been exemplary over this period, and I wanted to appreciate them as well as our colleagues from the Central Board that support me, Richard Carrion, heading our club co-operations and strategy, and of course my president and my treasurer. This is a space where I suggest watch it. We will have developments. We cannot make promises, we cannot make formal announcements, but definitely we're here to negotiate, we're here to do the best for FIBA, not primarily for the few, but primarily for the many that work, for the hundreds of clubs. And I want also to recognize the contributions of VULEB, the European Union of Leagues, next to us in a very key role. So after having covered the IOC and the NBA, I will now go to our strategy. And what you approved back in 2023 is these 7 pillars. The 3 primary pillars of empower national federations, of women in basketball and club competitions. It's exactly what I was discussing now about what we do in Europe and Africa for club competitions. And the other 4 pillars of our strategy, the 3x3, the excellence of national team competitions, the youth basketball, and the sustainability and innovation. So as I see that this is perhaps the most photographed slide of the day until now, I appreciate that, because this is our map. This is what governs all regions and all offices of FIBA around the world. So first, I will start with the Empower National Federations. And I would like to say a few words which are unknown 5 years ago. The first of them is FIBA Plus. The next one is FIBA Academy. And the other one is FIBA Foundation. Why I'm saying that? Because these are the programs that we have created based on your feedback in order to strengthen you, to empower you. FIBA Plus has assisted more than 140 national federations. And only last year, more than 80 federations. This is why we have a special breakout session tomorrow morning. And this is why we have the entire National Federations unit of FIBA and the executive directors all here in order for you to get all the information and really jump on the program, which will help you not only to design the strategy, but also to implement the strategy. This afternoon, you will hear about the launch of the FIBA Academy. The plus is for the federation as an institution. The academy is for you, for your staff. The academy is for us to increase the capabilities of the federations. We are as strong as you are, we like to say, and this is correct. So we need better people and better capacitated people in our federations. So we have been investing in this, and you will hear about a new program for basketball executives that we're launching this year, and you will hear about more materials that can really help you. So in reality, if you look at the Plus, the academy, the foundation that has touched more than 144 countries, and the individual programs that fall under them in every region, from the Youth Development Fund in Europe, the many camps in Africa, the ball in schools in Asia, the Australia Basketball for Good, the Oceania Basketball for Good, funded also by Australia and New Zealand government, the elements that we're doing, the camps in the Americas, the youth development camps, all these programs are for you. So what do? We give you the colors. You choose which colors you will select. You don't need to do everything, but our job is to give you the colors, and then you know how to paint the best possible painting for basketball in your country. So this is the FIBA Plus, and you will see more tomorrow, but this is not theory, because there is also action behind it, and there is a lot of equipment and development support. I can tell you that, as you will see in the report, 89 federations received last year equipment and support, balls, of course, scoreboards. Thank you to Qatar for the World Cup legacy, 2 courts, wooden courts have been dispatched, and more are on the way as our hosts are refurbishing their venues in Doha, and I have gracefully distributed them through the foundation to members that need them, and also a number of 3x3 basketball courts around the world. And this is something that we are ready to buy more and send out more, as long as you tell us your needs. And of course, our FIBA Equipment and Venue Center is there. And courses, more than 50 international coaching courses just last year through the World Association of Basketball Coaches. Its chair, Patrick Hunt, and the entire team are fully focused on providing you know-how. Some of you sometimes say, I don't need ball, Andreas. Just send me coaches. Just send me coaches. And we are ready for that, and we are ready to cater to these needs. Even sometimes we say, we have still some courses available. Please come and ask. Please come and ask. Because, to build a house, you need a permit. But to build an athlete, people forget that you need very, very long process of training and education, and definitely development. And we're going to be providing you with other alternative sources of revenue. This is also part of our job. You will see outside, we're doing a new project for the collectibles, for you to find other sources of revenue. You will have heard that we initiated the FIBA Masters project for games, for competitions of people who have retired from basketball. And our board member, Mr. Zois, is here also to connect with many of you as we head next year for the first FIBA Masters Open. Many opportunities for you to select from and grow and expand. But the word expand, I must say, is better fitting to what we're doing on the competition side and how we help our federations really grow through the qualifiers. The qualifiers, we have to confess, at the beginning, they were challenged by some of you. Some didn't believe. Perhaps quite a few may not still believe. They may see more challenges than opportunities. But there is no doubt that without a frequent home and away presence of the national team, we cannot grow. As simple as that. If you do not have your national team playing often at home, we cannot grow. And at the same time, because we're now entering the third cycle, 17-21 the first, 21-25 the second, 25-29 the third cycle of qualifiers, yesterday the Central Board acknowledged two things. One, that we have managed to be successful with the qualifiers, and that has had a certain benefit for FIBA. And two, that the cost for the federations to participate is higher today. This is why the Treasurer will announce later today that the Central Board yesterday decided to increase the subsidy that goes to the national federations. There are no less than 80 of them that play the World Cup qualifiers, and for the first time to introduce a subsidy for the Women's World Cup qualifiers as well as for the Women's World Cup final phase. These are not, of course, just millions in the air. This is a product of our collective work, which some of it, of course, we have to keep in our reserves, but most of it we have to reinvest into your job, into your continuous effort to grow the game of basketball. And there is no doubt that if we don't do that consistently, bringing our best players and having a pool longer than in the past. I said it in Manila, the national team and the national federation is not, and excuse my expression, this is not a tourist agency that gets 12 players together, gives them 12 tickets and sends them to a competition. We are big development vehicles, organizations that play every 3 years, organize at home, sell commercial rights, have sponsors, have partners, provide good conditions for our players. We cannot survive by playing 1 week or 2 weeks every summer. This is not going to be the future for us. We can only survive if you see your logo, if you see your brand every 3 months on TV, if the national team is relevant in market. And this is fundamental. But this is not only for the men, I repeat. In Manila, I had a women's game and a full venue. That was Australia 22. That was the final. And I said, look at a national team game with more than 10,000 people in the venue. Today, this is not the final, this is not the World Cup, and this is not even the Olympics. This is a qualifier. This is an Olympic qualifier in Belgium where both teams had qualified. This is a new era for women's basketball. And in the same way we had to challenge each other for 3x3, it is in the same way we have to challenge each other for women's basketball. I know that in some countries we may have traditional men's basketball so much stronger than the women's. I know the cultural aspects. I know all types of glass ceilings or other terminology. This is, for us, the biggest growth opportunity, women's game. And the women's game is proving that it is one of the leaders of the entire women's sports growth. Women's sports is 1 billion business as of this year. And a large part of that is women's basketball. In LA 28, it is possible that the most famous basketball player participating in terms of social media reach and recognizability may not be a man for the first time. I'm not saying it will not be, but I'm saying that the phenomenon that we have seen last year, both in the US as well as outside of the US, is incredible. And that is why the Women's Continental Cups this year in Shenzhen, in Germany, Italy, Czechia, and Greece, in Chile, and, of course, in Côte d'Ivoire, are fundamental for us. And this is why the Women's World Cup is a top priority for this House. So this is explaining why we're putting now money behind it. And we will continue. And last summer, we played the 12 in the Olympics, but we also played first time 16 teams for World Cup qualifiers. And I want to thank Mexico and Rwanda, first time in African country, and first time in Mexico, organizing senior world level competitions. And we supported financially the 16 countries to fly. Because if on the men's side we have 80, we need please 50 at least on the women's side. We need 50 that can compete at the top level. And we need the stronger middle class of women's basketball. We have now at least 35. We need another 15, and we need some of you to really make the difference in your countries. Now, this is the elite, but it starts bottom up, because that's our job. We are the champions in grassroots, no? That's what we say. We're not the professional league here. Here, we are the champions of grassroots. This is her word, her rules. This is simply the biggest development program of FIBA around the world. This is a program that affected last year, impacted positively 70,000 girls. 70,000 girls were directly impacted with financing from headquarters and the regional offices for this. A fantastic program, a great opportunity for you to enter the schools, a great opportunity for you to really come closer to the next generation. 133 federations, and I hope I have 165 in front of me today, and I would like to see by tomorrow all the rest of you really applying for this program. So this is not, of course, all. We are strongly advocating and walking the talk. The Congress in Manila approved 30% of either gender in the commissions. And I have to say now publicly the truth. The nominations that I received were representing 18%. So we took a decision with the president in his first days in office. He pushed me and he said, I authorize you to propose to the central board women in the commissions that were not proposed by their federations. So I know I received some phone calls, and I know some of you were not happy. And I know in some countries, the president is not a member of a FIBA commission, and it's the Secretary General who's a woman or a member of the board. But this is the only way for us to go ahead. We cannot be non-diverse in the way we think and in the way we operate. And this is not diversity for the sake of it. There is tremendous potential that we see, for example, on the women officiating. How the maternity leave program, a unique program of FIBA, has allowed 5 top referees to return and compete after delivering a child. We have seen how the women in leadership, or Adelante, as we call it, that started from our dear Carol in the Americas, and now women in leadership globally, with support of our global partners, both Molten for the We Lead and TCL for Her World, Her Rules. These are the programs that give us the next generation. We had the appointment of the first woman as executive director of a region with Amanda Jenkins in Oceania. We're still behind. We have to say this. We're still behind. But we are running. We're not walking. And this is important. So, Empower National Federation, women basketball, our third big priority, international club competitions. And this is a clear pyramid, which on the men's side starts with the Intercontinental Cup. The dream of William Jones in the mid-60s was to bring all the clubs of the world together. That was very difficult. But he still managed to bring 6 and 8 clubs, mostly from Europe and the Americas, together. Then this involved in the McDonald's Open that opened the door to the FIBA NBA cooperation. Then it went into a hiatus. We brought it back with the Europe-Americas duel. But then we had the Africa champion, the BAL champion. Then we had the Asia champion. And last year, we had also the champion of the NBL that includes clubs from Australia and New Zealand. And we can say proudly, now we have a truly global Intercontinental Cup played in a truly global destination of Singapore. And I think we really need to see
Good
what happened
evening,
there.
everybody, from Singapore for the FIBA Intercontinental Cup. The rim rocker. Look at that.
You came here to win this. Now let's win it.
Oh, he goes up for the dunk. Goodness me. Jonathan.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Fantastic win for the NBA G League United. He gets rejected by Will Magnay. Look out. Oh, boy. The crowd likes that. The final. And now the slam from Inaga. Puts it up. Got it. And it's Unicaja Malaga winning the FIBA Intercontinental Cup 2024.
That was an incredible event, and it will be also this September that we go back to our friends in Singapore. Well, now I think it's time for me to show the table you see in the report. That's how we were in 2017. Now you see an Intercontinental Cup. Now I would like to go back.
Good evening, everybody.
No, I would like to be here. 2017, we had the FIBA Asia Champions Cup, an ABL, the Basketball Champions League, and an Intercontinental Cup of just two regions, the Liga Sudamericana and the FIBA Europe Cup. Fast forward to today, we have a complete picture on all continents. An Intercontinental Cup that is global, with all 5 regions, BCL in the Americas, BCL in Asia, BCL in Europe, and our partnership with the NBA in Africa. The road to BAL, qualifying to BAL. The FIBA Europe Cup, the BCL Asia East, and the WASL in the West, and the Liga Sudamericana continuing. This is, with the base of the pyramid, more than 100 national leagues around the world. This is the pyramid that we envisage to complete also by sorting out, of course, our situation in Europe. But this is the progress that we have made on this fundamental part of our strategy. But also on the women's side, we are proud now to say that we have, besides the EuroLeague Women, on which I will speak in a moment, we have Women's Basketball League in the Americas, Women's Basketball League in Africa, and Women's Basketball League in Asia. The same brand, all 3 continents, and qualifiers to it from below, the Liga Sudamericana Femenina, which is already several years old, and of course the Eurocup Women, and a number of national leagues. This is the basis for us to produce the national team players. And a big investment has gone into the EuroLeague Women, because this has been traditionally the best women's club competition in the world. We should not be shy to say that. And of course we are happy that the WNBA is growing and attracts more attention and brings more eyeballs around the world on basketball. At the same time, the EuroLeague Women has been making progress, and I do believe that we need to see its further progress and how it has been shaping up into a final 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zaragoza. This is the EuroLeague Women Final 6 2025, presented by Azul Marino.
For the first time in EuroLeague Women's history, we have a Final 6 tournament. What a story. A true legend of the sport winning the trophy for the 6th time in her career. It's been 10 years since Prague won it last, and again, it's been done against all the odds. This will go down in the history books as the wildest women's basketball competition we have ever witnessed. A true Cinderella story for the ages. See you all next year in Zaragoza.
So Zaragoza, we had tremendous event in Dakar with a number of foreign players participating in the WBL Africa, record crowds in Chengdu for the WBL Asia, and also in Colombia for the WBL Americas. This is what the pyramid for which we are very proud of looks like today, and we really hope to be improving it continuously. As I close the third pillar and move to the fourth, where we will have also a third-party presentation in a moment, sustainability and innovation. Our goal on sustainability is to be quite practical. FIBA as an organization and FIBA as an event organizer. Here you have on the screen one of the sustainability initiatives during the FIBA Basketball World Cup. I was in Okinawa, this particular one, and you see Jip, our mascot, the first mascot where the basket on the back was used as a clear message for the young generation to take care of the waste and residues. And this sustainability message combined with the mascot is something that we're looking very much forward in the next 2 World Cups, both with Berlin and with Doha. Both as an organization, as an event organizer, I would like to mention here that our 3x3 World Tour and the 3x3 Asia Cup both have ISO certification for sustainability in the way they are managed. But sustainability has a second part, which is the innovation. You will hear today about eFIBA, a baby of the pandemic, but a standalone FIBA product involving more than 60 federations around the world. And with the Olympic esports games decided by the IOC, and the first to be held in 2027, we cannot stay behind. We're actually ahead. Our partnership with the NBA and the publisher of the game, 2K, is moving forward, and you will hear today how we have managed to open now new opportunities for our member federations. We had our first event in Sweden in person, and 2 years ago, and last year in the Philippines, it was something else. And we have announced that we will be next year and the year after, 25 and 26, in Doha for this real new source of interest, a new way of getting to the young generations. Now, I would like to pause and really show to you what FIBA and innovation means when we put them in the same sentence. 2 years ago, I showed to you the glass floor and how we implemented it. Now, I'm quite pleased to inform you that the renewal of our partnership with the company Genius, the company that has been providing the famous FIBA Live Stats, an evolution of the company that we have been working for more than 20 years together, is here with us in the room. And I would like to invite their representatives and our dear friends from Genius Sports to give us their presentation on what the new technology Genius IQ can do and how our partner continues to service more than 150 national federations and leagues around the world. Please welcome them.
Good morning, and a very generous thank you on behalf of Genius Sports to you, Mr. President, and Mr. Secretary General, for the opportunity to speak today and talk a little bit both about this partnership, which has just been mentioned has been in place for now 21 years and has now been renewed for a further 10 years. We're very excited about what is to come. We've had a fantastic time, and for most of this time I've been involved, which has personally been incredibly satisfying. But we're very, very excited about the future as well. And I want to talk a little bit about that future, partly by talking a little bit about the past. And this was a partnership that has always been based on two things. The first, the idea that we can improve the administration and the support of basketball through technology and through innovation in technology. We've always done that. And the second, that technology should be available to you at the lowest possible cost, and in many cases, no cost at all. And it's been a real hallmark of our partnership. It will continue to be that we support that. Sometimes to talk about the future, you need to talk about the past. So I'm going to do that. This might be betraying my age, but I used to do stats on a piece of paper. And this is not that long ago, to be honest. But this is a great example of where we've taken things forward with FIBA over many, many years. And I want to talk about a timeline of a piece of software that you know as FIBA Live Stats that we developed in 2009 and have brought to all of the FIBA world. That software was originally designed in 2008. FIBA and our company sat down and said, the collection of basketball data is messy. It's not clean. How do we make it better? There were numerous providers, lots of people using paper. And we said, let's build a piece of software that we can give to federations, give to leagues throughout the world, and they can collect data through. Now, on the right-hand side there, you probably see what you know very well. You've probably watched a game using what we call a webcast or a game tracker. But on the left is the software that we developed. And that software has been in place since 2009. The first game that was ever done with that, I was there personally. It was in Australia for the Women's National Basketball League. I was very nervous because we needed to make it work, but we did make it work. And it's been an absolutely dynamic success ever since. So I just want to take you a little bit of the history of that before I move on to the future. So that first game was 2009. Within about 4 years, I think we had about 35% of world leagues using this software. And by 2020, over 90% of Division 1 and Division 2 basketball conducted by you with the federations of FIBA, national leagues, was recorded statistically using FIBA Live Stats. Right now, we have at least 1 million games of basketball, 1 million box scores stored in that database. And that's your data, and that data has been stored, it's been transmitted, it's been put into game trackers, it's been sent to broadcasters. Most importantly, it's been printed for coaches at games time and time again, and it's been an unbelievably successful process. Over 90%, by 2020, over 90% of leagues and federations around the world were using FIBA Live Stats to bring the box score to life and to ensure that everybody in basketball had the data they needed after a game. It's been a tremendous honour to do this. But I really want to take you forward now and talk about what we're doing next. The future is not necessarily FIBA Live Stats. FIBA Live Stats will always be there, I promise you that. We're not going to take it away. It's been an absolute centrepiece of our relationship, but it's not always going to be the future. The future will be cameras, and in this case, and you can see it on the screen there, phones deployed as cameras, optically tracking everything that happens on the court. We call this Genius IQ. We have the ability now to install 10, 12, 14 cameras in a venue and use that camera to do multiple things. It's very, very exciting. These are just some of the use cases and some of the things that we're already doing or starting to do with various federations around the world, and we're going to bring to life in this FIBA partnership. For media, we're already innovating with broadcast. This past weekend, Basketball Champions League presented a unique new broadcast using broadcast augmentation, which we could not have done unless we were live tracking players using cameras and live tracking the action. It brings a different picture. It's very important, I think, for a new audience. The younger audience, those under 25, are consuming sport in a very different way to the way they've done it in the past. We have to innovate in how we present that to them. In the stadium, we think there's a great opportunity to enrich the experience of the fans and bring them new levels of information. There's an amazing opportunity with officiating, not trying to referee the game, we're not trying to do that, but in improving what referees can do, in helping referees grow. I met with Mr. Jungerbrand 2 weeks ago in FIBA, and we talked through some of the opportunities we think are available for us to jointly and in a shared way develop over the next few years in which we can improve officiating throughout the world and help that part of the sport, the third team, grow. And then, and this is actually where the genesis of this is in the training ground. It's in performance. How can we use data? How can we use data that's automatically collected by a camera to improve the performance of teams and players and bring value to coaches as they use it? I'm just going to give you some of the things in 2 or 3 quick slides that we're doing right now. We're already capturing more information about moments in a game than we ever have previously, and we're doing it automatically. This is not a human collecting this, but on a layup or on a dunk, we can identify who the player is. We can tell how high the player has jumped on the dunk, something we couldn't do before. We can automatically tell you what the probability is of making that shot, all right? All of those things can happen in real time, and we can present those in various ways, both in the stadium and on broadcast. We can actually now record the box score using a camera. So we can record assists and rebounds, we can record scores. All of those things can now be done using a series of cameras in the venue. Those same cameras are reading player numbers, they're recording a shot or a rebound, and they're bringing to life the box score data in a very, very dynamic way. And this one I think is very exciting. We can recreate the game in a 3D way. So after a game, a coach can come in and can say to their players, this is what you saw. Let me show you how I saw it differently. And bring that to life in a real life performance way, in a scouting way, or in a way that tells the fan something different about the game. This also opens the opportunity for third world applications. We could stage an entire game in the Lego world if we wanted to. And in fact, we've done some of that work already. And therefore, we can attract a new audience and in a very dynamic way, bring to life the game for anybody that wants to watch it or wants to learn it as they play. I'm going to show you a video now as a way of parting and saying thank you for the opportunity to present. And that video it's quite brief, but it actually brings to life the things that we're already doing. Sorry. One more thing, sorry. We have the ability to bring new fan data automatically to them through apps. So we can bring incredible information straight to the fan, again, tracked live in the game. Let me go to that video.
A single system of intelligence to make basketball more innovative, more efficient, more engaging, redefining what's possible on and off the court. Every dribble, every cut, every basket captured, analyzed, and brought to life by AI. Helping coaches make smarter decisions. Officials make faster calls. Broadcasters tell better stories. And fans experience the game like never before. Powered by Genius IQ.
Thank you for the opportunity to present. Thank you again, Andres. We really appreciate this. Mr. President, we appreciate the opportunity. And myself, Stephen Burton and Johnny Katachian are here through the life of the Congress. Happy to have a conversation about any of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now we'll take a break for 30 minutes to give everybody because I saw everybody take coffee, and so we'll give you opportunity to have half an hour to have and refresh your